today.
Thank you.
Hello, hello, and welcome to, can you believe it, day 5 of the Rise of the Rebel Matriarch Leadership Summit. And today is all about embodying the Rebel Matriarch, the woman who we all aspire to be, the woman who the earth needs us to be right here and right now as future ancestors in training of the next generation. So I'm very, very excited today to have one of my incredible, most amazing and formidable womb witches and agents of the goddess, Jane Hardwicke Collings here, who has been so influential and inspirational to me on my journey of womb awakening, of birthing my babies peacefully and powerfully, of reclaiming the rites of passage that are mine to learn from and embody, and to be the powerful matriarch in the making that I was born to be. So I really am so grateful for you, Jane, for the work that you share in the world, for the devotion that you have to the cause of the feminine rising, and for just being such an embodied and integrous leader that I get to learn from and walk and dance with on this journey. So thank you, Jane. You are the most incredible woman, and you were such a big cheerleader of mine when I first started out on my Rebel Mad journey. You wrote the book, or you wrote the
Forward.
for the first book, and just knowing that you were in my corner helped me really believe in myself and what I was doing and the mission that I had in the world. And that is just priceless, to have a woman, an elder especially, such an esteemed woman, to hold the space and hold the drum for me and help me remember who I am and to believe in me and my dreams. It was just what was the fuel for the fire in my womb to keep going and keep growing and keep flowing, because it's not always an easy journey, but to know that I am on the right path.
Oh, thank you, Saoirse. And I'm so wanting to congratulate you for this wonderful week that has happened. You really are being who you are, which is everybody's responsibility and not what everybody does. So thank you so much for stepping up and really being who you are. And thank you for inviting me to be part of this.
Yes, we are
So
very excited to have you. And Jane is a grandmother, a former midwife, a teacher, a writer, and a menstrual educator. So she gives workshops on mother and daughter preparation for menstruation, the spiritual practice of menstruation, and the sacred dimensions of pregnancy, birth, and menopause. So Jane also founded and runs the School of Shamanic Womancraft, an international women's mystery schools. And you can find her online and in all the places and podcasts where you can learn so much wisdom from her, which I might also share one of the days, your herstory, and maybe just before we go into the practice, you could give us a little bit of an overview of what the actual return into the matriarchy might be. You know what I mean? For anyone who's kind of watching, wondering what is a matrifocal society, or what is the matriarchy, and why would we want to return there? I know you're going to bring us on a journey today to, meet ourselves as future ancestors, and in that we get to tap into what that might look like when we do create this truer, more beautiful world that we know is possible for our children and all children.
yes. So I don't know that we will ever return to the original matriarchy, because that was in an era that is no longer, and the world is different now, and we have so much more at our fingertips. But what we really need to do is create and, well, insist and co-create a matrifocal culture, which is what you said. So that's where the mother with a capital M, is considered and actually centered. So that means not just mother as the woman who is creating life, but also the mother as in the earth. So, what we need to do is honor mother on every level, within and without. And if we don't, then it continues to be at our peril. So a lot of, I'll speak some more about this a little bit later, when after we do the journey, to encourage everybody to know what to be looking for. But actually, It is absolutely our responsibility, and it needs to happen for all our relations.
Absolutely. Here, here. So you can just take the mic. I will mute myself, and you can bring us wherever we need to go on our little shamanic journey with you. We trust in you wholeheartedly to hold the space and the drum for us.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Okay, so hi everybody who's here, and hi to everybody who's going to be watching the recording of this. Now, during this session that I will be leading for you, there will be a time when I'm going to drum for you, and we'll do a journey. And so don't do that if you're driving. Make sure you do it when you're back at home or somewhere safe where you can really drop into a space where you can close your eyes and be in a receptive way to be able to get the information that the journey will provide for you. So just to talk about what's happened already this week, you've journeyed through the maiden, the mother, the wild woman, and the wise woman stages. And now, on this day, at the culmination of this summit, to rise as the woman, mother, lover, and leader the earth needs, and to actually embody her essence. So on this final day, we are also integrating our masculine and feminine energies, coming into balance with and harmony within and without. So to do this, to assist this process, we will journey to the grandmother tree. And there we will speak our intentions and plant our metaphoric seeds for ourselves and for the future generations. For we are the future ancestors of our great-great-grandchildren. These may be your grandchildren or our grandchildren. No matter whether you have grandchildren or not, they are our grandchildren. And it is our shared responsibility to be the best future ancestors we can be for these great-great-grandchildren. So in preparation for the journey, take a moment now to gather your thoughts. Gather your thoughts about all that has come together for you this week. Maybe if you've got a pen and paper, you could just jot down some of the notes now about the qualities through the processes and the information that's been shared with you this week. Jot down the qualities you have reclaimed and remembered, or that you've chosen to embody as you move forward. So I'm just leaving a bit of space now for you to do that. You need to go into this journey with this information, because these are the seeds that you will plant. These are the intentions that you'll be taking forward to be the best future ancestor you can be. So make your notes now about the qualities you have reclaimed or remembered or are choosing to embody as you move forward. And as you do so, reflect on becoming the woman the earth needs now, the future ancestor the great-great-grandchildren will benefit from. I'm going to drum just for a little while you prepare your list of qualities and intentions. And it would be great if you could put them in the chat bar to share with everybody else. So I'm just going to drum just for a little while here now. Just got to turn on something here. Just giving you the chance to pull together the seeds you'll plant at the grandmother tree. Saoirse, does this drumming sound okay? Just checking. Get your list together. You need it for the journey. The qualities and intentions, the things you've remembered and reclaimed over this week. And sometimes more things will come to you during the journey. Just getting ready now for the journey. bringing to mind the qualities you are reclaiming and remembering and choosing to embody. Okay, now what we're going to do together is a middle realm journey to the grandmother tree. I will talk us through the process to get to the grandmother tree, and I will give you instructions on what to do, and then I will drum for you, and I'll stop talking and I'll drum for you while you do the job you need to do there with the grandmother tree. And then I will change the drumming when you have to come back, and I'll talk you back. So just so you know what's happening, the drumming for the journey when I'm not talking will sound like this. And when it's time to come back, I'm going to change it to this. And then I'll talk you back. And then when you come back at the end of the journey, you need to take the time, and we'll make the time and space for you to actually write down what happened for you on the journey. So there'll be a pause there with not much talking, and I will maybe drum softly, but it's really important when you get back that you write down what happened, because these kinds of drum journeys are a bit like dreams. If you don't recall them straight away, you can forget it. So now here you are, ready with your list, and I can see in the chat bar what the women are bringing now. So this is fantastic, so good. And maybe there'll be a way that Saoirse can help you all bring your comments. Those of you who are doing this via the recorded version of this, Saoirse will give you some instructions on where to record your intentions, your metaphoric seeds, what you've reclaimed, and what you are going to embody. Okay, so now to get ready for this journey, I'm going to speak some instructions on how it happens, and then you want to be able to either sit with your eyes closed or your gaze lowered, or lie down if you can, or stand up and move to the drum while you're doing the journey. If you want to do that, that's often a good thing to do if journeying is sometimes tricky for you and you don't feel like anything happens. And if during the process you feel like nothing's happening, take all your awareness to the beat of the drum. That'll affect your brain and help you drop in. Now, some of you I know are at work listening to this, so maybe you want to do this on the recorded version later, or maybe you can just quietly sit there with your eyes closed. That'll depend on what you're doing and who's watching. So good luck with that. Okay, now with this process, if you encounter anything during the journey, which is a bit like an awake dream, it's kind of like a self-guided meditation to the beat of the drum. Now, if you encounter anything that worries you or concerns you during it, then all you need to do is ask it, are you for my highest good? So just say that in your mind so you've got that clear to use if you get concerned or worry. Are you for my highest good? And don't hesitate to use that, because if it is for your highest good, it will stay, and you can ask it a question. What are you here to teach me or show me or remind me of? If it's not for your highest good, it will disappear. So make sure that you use that. That's one of the things, the tools in a journey. Now, as I said, after the journey, take notes about what emerged for you, and then after the journey, when you're ready, share an abbreviated version of that in the chat as well. Okay, so we're going to prepare now to go in. Now, take a breath in and out. Now, say to yourself three times in your mind, not out loud, I clear myself of all negative energy. Say that 3 times. Now, the next thing you need to say 3 times to yourself, not out loud, is your intention. Now, I've prepared these words that could represent your intention, but if you want to add anything else in there, do. So I'll say this and then you repeat it 3 times, or your version of it. I am traveling to the middle realm to meet with the grandmother tree to speak my intentions about being the best future ancestor I can be. I'll say that one more time and then you say it 3 times. I am traveling to the middle realm to meet with the grandmother tree to speak my intentions about being the best future ancestor I can be. Okay. Now see yourself in your mind's eye, create the vision of a place in nature that you know and love and feel safe in. So conjure that image in your mind. It can be real or imaginary. So see yourself there in that place and look down at your feet and see that they are bare. See your bare feet on the earth. Now begin to walk forward a few steps. See yourself doing that. And now turn around 180 degrees and see in front of you a path going into the forest. Start walking down that path and know that you are safe and protected. Walking down the path now, the forest begins to get denser. The canopy becomes thicker, and you hear the sounds of the forest. Actively visualize this. You're walking deeper into the forest, and ahead of you, you see a gigantic tree. And you know instantly it's the grandmother tree. Go up to the grandmother tree now and introduce yourself. And sit there with her, perhaps with your back against her, or stand there with your back or front against the tree, or lie there amongst her roots, whatever you want to do. Get comfortable there at the grandmother tree. She knows you. She knows what you've come for. She's been expecting you. And in a moment, when I am drumming louder for you and I stop talking, speak to the grandmother tree and tell her all the qualities you pledge to bring to yourself as the woman the earth needs now, and to be the best future ancestor you can be for the great-great-grandchildren. And while I drum for you, while you do this to the grandmother tree, while she takes in your words, your feelings, your desires and your dreams, she'll send them through her roots into the mycelium, and it will take it all around the earth. And she will send it through her branches and her leaves that will take your dreams, your desires, your intentions, your commitment into the cosmos. So you'll be planting metaphoric seeds around the earth around her, as well as her transmitting your commitment and intentions into the earth and the cosmos. Now is your chance to speak your intentions and plant these seeds around the grandmother tree. Now I will drum for you while you do that. Say thank you to the grandmother tree. Plan to meet again. Maybe you're given something to bring back. Say goodbye now. And step away from the grandmother tree and see the pathway that led you to her in the big forest, and start walking back the way you came. You need to retrace your steps back to that place in nature where you began. Get yourself there through the forest path and out to that place in nature where you began. See yourself there now, and look down at your feet, and you've got your shoes back on. And so now it's time to come back into this place where we are together at the Rebel Ma special ceremony. So take a big breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Another big breath in and out, and more wiggling, and open your eyes and see where you are now. Have a drink if you've got your water nearby. Shake your body if you need to. You've got to come back into the present moment here now. And we'll have the space now. I'll drum just a little bit, but don't go back into a journey. What you need to do now is write down what happened on your journey. Take your notes. As I said, if you don't do this now, you might forget it. It's like a dream. Take your notes, and when you're ready, put the abbreviated version in the chat or share it in the place that Saoirse says to share. So I'll just drum a heartbeat drum while you jot down what happened. And if you think nothing happened, write down everything that was happening when nothing was happening. And sometimes while you're writing, more memories come. And sometimes it's a feeling you had or something you heard. Okay. So quickly jot down any more dot points that you haven't gotten to writing down and add that later. Now the real work begins. Now we're talking now live on Friday, November 15th, and Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, it's 1:13 p.m. So tomorrow morning, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, is the full moon. Now, wherever you are in the world, find out what time the full moon is tomorrow, or when it is. Maybe it's the day before or after, depending on where you are on the planet. And observe under the full moon, observe what is fully illuminated in your life. What you can't not see, what you can't not notice. So under the full moon, observe what is fully illuminated in your life, because this may reveal what you need to focus on to be the future ancestor you aspire to be. Because setting an intention, planting a seed is step one. The next steps are to nurture the growth of the seed. So as if you are the metaphoric gardener of your intentions, your seeds, your commitments, the qualities you're embodying, you need to nurture them to growth. Now what that might look like is, again, what I've just been saying. You may notice under the full moon what you need to do next. Or you may notice or listen to a conversation, or remember a passage in a book, or see something or notice something that's the next thing you need to notice to do the next thing you need to do to nurture the growth of yourself as a future ancestor to the great-great-grandchildren. So this is not just a plant the seed and forget about it. This is plant the seed and nurture the growth. So I don't know what those things will need to be, but if you're making some grand commitments, you may need to learn something new. You may need to remember something from old. You may need to gather different folk around you to support you. What you'll need to do, you will know, so long as you watch for the signs and pay attention. And then after the moon is full, over the next 2 weeks, the moon will wane. And so during that time, the time of the waning moon, which is equivalent to the second half of your menstrual cycle, which is equivalent to autumn and winter, make a list of all the things that show up in your life that no longer serve you. Outdated beliefs, attitudes, habits. So after the full moon, make a list of everything in your life that needs to change, or the things you need to stop doing, or the ways of behaving that no longer serve you, and then get ready to release those aspects of you at the dark moon. So that'll be in about 2 weeks or so. So when you release these aspects of you, behaviors, attitudes, fears that no longer serve you, you will be able to clear the path towards becoming the future ancestor you are committed to being. There's growth in this process for you, obviously. And part of that growth will be to leave behind things that don't work in your life anymore. So, notice on the full moon what's fully illuminated. Notice as the metaphoric gardener of your intentions and seeds you've just planted, what you need to do to nurture the growth. And then after the full moon, prepare a list of what you're going to let go of at the dark moon. So, thank you all for doing this work that will ensure that you are remembered with gratitude. You were one of the people who consciously considered the well-being of the great-great-grandchildren. That's not a common thing in our world right now. We need to nurture ourselves and become those future ancestors, and you are clearly one of those. So from the bottom of my heart and all the sides and the top of my heart, I give great thanks for you on behalf of your our great-great-grandchildren. You will be remembered. Now, as I said earlier, I'm not sure that we can ever return to the original matriarchal cultures that existed before the patriarchy, but what we must insist upon is a matrifocal culture where the mother is centered and centered fully. It's against nature to do anything other than that. And we can see the results of that through menstrual pathology, birth intervention and birth trauma, and menopause fear and control, and the same for death. So we are in a culture that oppresses women and the feminine to our collective peril. And we've just learned to accept that. We need to wake up. Much has been said and written about this need for change. And quite frankly, if we don't do this, things will just continue to get worse, not just for women, but for everybody. She who rocks the cradle rules the world. She who conceives, gestates, births, and looks after the babies creates the future. This is not a story. This is the truth. The future is in our hands. Imagine a world where women feel safe and honored and even celebrated. Imagine a world that has systems set up to support women through their life-changing and future-creating rites of passage. Imagine a positive menstrual cycle culture, a positive birth culture, and a positive menopause culture. This would be a world that would grow empowered, embodied humans, and everything would change. And this, my dear sisters, is in our hands. And no one is going to do this for us or give this to us. We need to rise, as Saoirse is encouraging us, all together and all the time. We need to be the women the earth needs now and the future ancestors of our great-great-grandchildren. These are my words. Thank you for your attention and thank you for your dedication. Blessed be.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jane. What a gorgeous vision. And it doesn't seem so hard, you know, when you think about it, when you realize that the power is in our hands to wake ourselves up, to get curious about how we are showing up, to continuously listen to the inner whispers and take courageous action, you know, towards our dreams, towards all of the things that we can control, I guess, you know, in these times when we're living in polycrisis, you know, and there seems to be so many things that we have to fear or worry about and can feel quite hopeless or helpless for the future and for the children. It's a real time to take back control of our ship, you know, and start steering it towards peace and harmony and bliss and justice, and use our voices for good, those of us that have them, that can actually use our voices and our tools and share our gifts in service to others. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Saoirse, for everything that you're doing. It's so important. I really honor and give great thanks for your leadership.
Thank you. No, thank you. And when I went down to the Great Mother Tree, it was so beautiful, you know, it was like meeting her and feeling my roots connecting to hers, you know, and allow them to run deep and wise and then rise, as I said, like the Great Mother Tree. rising to the cries of the children and the earth in these bewildering times.
Mm, wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jane. We love
Thank
you. We
you.
appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing too and shining a light in all the places that needs your love and light. And let's keep holding the vision of that truer, more beautiful, more fairer world for our children and for all children.
May it be so.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. All right, lovely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming on, those who did. And good luck, Vanessa, for your daughter who's about to have a baby. We're holding space for her, and we're holding space for all the women, all the mothers all over the world who need our love and our support and, our prayers at this time. And yeah,
Mm,
beautiful. All right. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.